Hello folks, welcome to the channel. Today's project we're working on installing fog lights in this 2020 Chevy Suburban. So my truck's an LT model, but it did not come with factory fog lights. And so I've got these blank panels down here where the factory fogs go. And we're gonna install LED fog lights in the factory location, and hook that up to a relay and a switch that's going to go on the inside that will be energized whenever the headlights turn on. So let's get started. All right, so what I've purchased to install in the factory locations for fog lights are these Morimoto. It's a Morimoto set XB LEDs, and these are for I think it's a 2015 to 2019 Silverado and Suburban and Tahoe. It seems like they use the same, and so I'm assuming that it works again for 2020 because those are all the same body style. So what we got inside, when we open those up, is a you can see the projector lens and LEDs in there. And this is a definitely high quality assembly here. Nice clear lens, nice and thick, doesn't squeak, good and solid. And so this is what we'll be putting in place. But what I found once getting started on this is, there's some additional hardware that you need in order to adapt the fog light to the truck whenever it didn't come with the original equipment. So I scoured over some the GM pages to try to find the service manual and the parts catalogs and stuff to try to find fog light the brackets that go behind this, but wasn't able to find it. But I did get was able to find something on eBay, just a cheap replacement housing. You can see here, this is how these came. I got a pair of them that had a halogen bulb and all, and this was actually cheaper to get the housing and the bulb and the bracket and all that just from an aftermarket provider than to get an OEM version. So all I really need is the bracket. So we'll see how this holds up. So you can just pop out the lens, and here's the bracket, and that's really all I'm after to be able to use it. So how do you get this out? On the back of the lens, back of the housing, there are three fasteners. There's two of these little pop little nubs on here, two of those, and then one is for the adjuster that allows you to aim the fog light, and there's a receptacle for that in the housing. You see that screw down there, and you can either turn it with the gear underneath. It doesn't really work very well. That's kind of the OEM method, but this is cheap, so that didn't really work very well, but turning the screw in the back works fine. So you just back that screw off, and that'll back that screw out of that little fastener, and then you just pop these out, just pull on them, and they'll pop out, and then that got the housing out. So you will have to transfer this little fastener over to the new housing. So by just a pair of pliers, will get that out. So that's what we'll do. All right, so here we got all the parts we need to do the swap. I've already taken this little fastener out of the square pocket for the adjuster, so you can see that. And so we're done with this. This will go away. We've got our housing and our new fog light, the Morimoto LED fog light, which looks pretty sweet. So we'll just take this clip and snap it in. Try that again. All right, got that snapped in. And then it's pretty simple. We'll just pop this light in, run harness through, and there's two pop fasteners. Oh, I think I'm going to start the thread first. Get that run down. See what I'm doing here. I got that fastener started in that little clip, and so I'm just running the screw down now. Probably a little more than halfway. We'll adjust the height later. So then that should get me pretty close here to be able to pop these other couple fasteners in. So we'll do one. And I guess both of them went in there. Got them both. So she's in there. All right, so now we got the lens installed in a housing. So again, we'll see how this housing works out. It was pretty inexpensive, but worst case, then I have to go buy an OEM one. I was able to find the part numbers for it pretty easily, just looking around on eBay. So we'll be able to do that. So now these are ready to go in the car. So another little word about the connector that comes with these. I'm gonna put on here what type this is. So what I did is I bought the female version of this connector. Again, just a couple of pigtails. All right, so what I got, this was again, I bought off eBay. It's a, let's see, yeah, 5202. It's a 5202 model connector, female end. And so this is intended to go into a light socket, but what Morimoto has done, and that must be the factory. The factory must have a light socket that this goes into. See, I'll show a little closer here. That's what these look like. So this is the female, and then what comes on the Morimoto is, I guess, a simulated socket, light bulb socket, because usually there's just a light bulb where this blue part is. So they've adapted that so that, you know, obviously, so your factory wiring would just hook up to it if you had factory fog lights. So I was able to find these, you know, pretty cheap, just has a little pigtail on it. And so I'll adapt this into the harness I'm going to build so that I have a factory connection. So if I ever want to swap it out for something else later, I'm not splicing wires, and it'll look more professional. So we got those. Let's see, and they just plug in. Let's get this right. There she is. So it's all in there. Just squeeze here to release. And so we're ready to go. Which is what I've got here. So I've always been kind of a Toyota guy. Toyota and Chevy growing up. So I've had a lot of Toyotas lately, and I really like their switchgear that they have. And the lighting on the switchgear really matches well with the blue on the Chevys nowadays. So what I ended up getting was a Chevy-like, or I'm sorry, a Toyota-like switch that fits in Toyota holes. But this one in particular has got, you see it's a fog light insignia. Let me get you closer here. So this one looks pretty good. There's lots of companies online and whatnot that you can buy custom switches for it with all kinds of different types of covers. But the good thing about this is the lighting on it is a light blue, and so it should line up well with what we've got in the truck. So I'm going to end up cutting a hole in the instrument panel to mount this, and I'm just going to mount it in there by itself for right now, and we'll see how that looks. And if that doesn't look all right, then I'll there's some bezels and things you can find online where these snap into. I haven't really liked the way any of them look right now, so we'll try it like this first. But there's the switch. So that's what we'll end up putting for fog lights.